In this series, I'm going to be exploring a small part of this amazing countryside. For the first half of the trip, I'm travelling with some mates. And in the second half, I'm heading off by myself. The Vic High Country is a four-wheel driver's paradise. It has tracks to suit all types of abilities from easy to difficult. It has river crossings. It has forests and mountains. And we're going to experience it in all sorts of weather conditions. I get a chance to rescue fellow travellers and settle the age-old question of, does my car sink or float? Well, it's been a very, very long day and I'm getting tired. I'm very much looking forward to finding a camping spot, and there's one coming up just around the corner. It's 5:30. So I've been on the road for 9 hours now. Nine hours of very difficult tracks, and I'm getting tired. I've had my fair share of difficulties today, from countless river crossings to unsavoury characters and helping people get unstuck. It is definitely time to stop for the day. Right, Buckwong Creek camping area. My first reaction is, where is it? There's just long grass. Oh, maybe this is it. Let's just try a little bit further up the track. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's where I can camp. It's right next to the creek. It's very, very wet indeed. So that will be tomorrow's river crossing. Look at that. That will be tomorrow, not today. Okay, I'm going to camp right here. So we finally arrived at camp. I'm tired, it's time to set up camp. Luckily, setting up camp is a very easy and painless process. The tent and awning both set up in a couple of seconds. I've got my homemade rain gutter to keep the rear of the car dry. The latest addition to the tent is a rain cover for the side. This is only the second time that I've used it, but it's a fairly quick thing to set up. And finally, a rain cover for the ensuite. And it's time for dinner. I think I'm tired. So I have some leftovers from the other night. This is Thai green chicken curry. So I'm using my new induction stove. I really like it. Like, it is super efficient. Quite often I cook dinner of an evening and then the next morning make coffee and then make some toast or cook breakfast, bacon and eggs or something on here. And I'll go have a look at my battery, and my battery is 95%, 98%. So it really doesn't use up nowhere near as much power as I was expecting it to. It is just like cooking at home, really. Now, while I've got dinner going, let's go have a look at this river crossing, because it looks terrifying. And if I can't cross this, I doubt that is going to change at all by tomorrow morning. If I can't cross this, then I'll have to go back the way I had come and find a different way. it looks far too deep. So this is what I'm looking at. Now you can see that the ground disappears pretty quickly. So by about a metre in, you're getting up to probably knee height. Just before the rapids there, I would say that would be up to waist height. And then there's the exit. Not too sure what to do about that. With any luck, I might find another vehicle come through here, and if they can do it, then I can do it. But really have to find a way of testing how deep that water is, and that current is fairly strong. Especially further down, you can see the rapids there. It's flowing really strong. And in fact, occasionally I can see a whirlpool start, so I don't know. The only surefire way of being able to test it without endangering the vehicle or myself is to wade through it. Now, there's no way in the world that I'm going to go through that. So if I were to tie one of the recovery straps to a tree somewhere and then hold on to that and go in there and test the water, that could be one option, but I don't like the idea of going in there. I don't like the idea of being swept away and, you know, you never hear from me again. So I think after dinner I'm going to have a look at the map and see if there's an alternate route. Now, coming down all the way to here, I didn't see any alternate routes. So I really hate the idea of having to go all the way back up to Omeo the way that I had come, because that's going to be a lot harder than getting down to here. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. What a day. I'm tired, filthy, and at a dead end because there's no way I can go across the water. After finishing dinner and thinking I was going to spend the whole night by myself, another four-wheel drive turned up. There was this young guy and his girlfriend, and he decided that he was going to try and cross. So I got the camera and started filming. She jumped out of the four-wheel drive and watched as he entered the river. Now, she reassured me that he's got a huge amount of experience. So he inched his way in and tested the rapids, and you can see that the car actually dips down a little bit because it gets quite deep there. After backing up, he decided he was going to go for it. Now, because the current is so strong, you really need to drive against the current. So in this case, you're going to be driving towards the left-hand corner of the exit. The current will pick you up and push you to the right, so you need to counter that. And just look at the back of his car as he goes in. Gets pushed off to the right. See that? Wow.
Might be a little different.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the right car for it. Well, going across once was not enough for him because he had to come back to get his girlfriend. He then asked me if I want a hand crossing the river. It took me all of 2 seconds to decide, hell yes. And so we hatched a plan. Okay, so the plan of attack is to shackle the two cars together. Now it's always up to the person doing the recovery or lending assistance to make sure that everything is connected securely and safely. When connecting recovery straps to each other, it's always a good idea to put a piece of wood in between them, which means it's easy to separate them after the recovery. And you can see here he's following the correct procedure. I know. Well, thank you for trying. After laying the recovery straps down so that they won't get tangled when we take off, it was time to discuss some strategy. Following some reassuring hand gestures of what to expect, we were ready to cross the river.
You got a copy?
Copy.
Righto.
Oh my god, I'm terrified.
One thing to note is that the strap is long enough to allow one car to be just exiting the river as the next one is entering. Thereby, neither of us are in danger at the same time.
Follow me as I go.
Just look at that current.
You ready, mate?
Ready?
As soon as he starts moving, I need to go. There's no turning back. That current is super strong. Just look how much his vehicle was pushed to the right. Oh boy, here we go. To the FJ's credit, that recovery strap was loose the whole way. I got through under my own steam.
You actually picked it up.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. I've got one on the roof.
Oh, that was fun.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh man.
We were planning on crossing the Murray tonight, but
Yeah, well I'm heading that way as well. I want to
Tom
go on to the
Goggin?
Yeah.
Tom Goggin.
might as well go have a look.
Yeah. Oh man.
Because it's wider, but it might not be that deep.
That was terrifying. I would never have been able to get across without that guy's help. It was so nice of them to offer their assistance. But they're going to Tom Goggin as well, and I'm going as well. But the guy has had apparently a lot of experience, and quite evidently a lot of experience. His car seems to be probably a little bit heavier than mine, because in contrast to my car, when mine floated, the current took a hold of it. It was like a piece of foam in the bathtub. I was definitely floating off towards the rapids, towards the rocks. There was water way past my windscreen, and I made it across. So I am forever grateful to him for taking me across. That was super nice. But yeah, without him, there's no chance in hell I would have made that. So it turns out we're both heading in the same direction, so we are heading towards Tom Goggin. I've heard that the Murray River will be very difficult to cross because it's a lot wider and probably stronger current, but we won't know until we get there. So I'm taking this opportunity to tag along with these guys and get to Tom Goggin, because if we can get there, even if we don't get across the river today, if we camp there and then go across in the morning, at least I've got assistance. This guy obviously knows what he's doing and he's very capable, so oh Jesus. But if we can get across the Murray, that's the last obstacle. If we can get across the Murray, then it's only a very short track back to the sealed road, and then it's homewards bound.
But for the moment, I've put those thoughts aside because I was driving through some beautiful countryside. It had stopped raining and I was just enjoying being in the moment. I'm following another vehicle. I have nothing to worry about. I'm relaxed. And I think I've crossed the most difficult obstacle that I'm going to encounter on this whole trip. So there's nothing more that can go wrong. I'm just enjoying the drive. According to the map, this is the second last opportunity to cross the river before we get to the end of the track. I really need to get across to the other side, so we're going to stop and check it out. Well, my first impressions are that this looks far too wide and far too deep to cross. But we're going to get out and have a closer look. Okay, so it turns out we can't cross the river here because it's really wide and we have to basically go down and then back up the current, but the current is too strong, so we'll never make it. So, oh, that's interesting. So, no more obstacles, hey? Famous last words. We are so close to the end and yet still so far. Neither of us has a chainsaw, so the only way around this tree is up the hill and around the roots. That's easier said than done. That hill is extremely slippery, but that's the only plan we have.
Oh, look at that. She's good, isn't she? She's putting some weight on the other side of the car. They're obviously a well-experienced team. He's going out that way as well. Oh goodness. See, if my winch was working, it's a game changer in a situation like this. So so I'm providing some commentary here. So he's decided he's going to winch himself out. It's obviously very, very slippery ground. There you go, he's going to tie it to a log. And try and winch his front away from the tree that he's sliding into.
So the problem here is that the ground is so slippery that we simply cannot drive up the hill to get around the base of the tree. So he's connected his winch to a log and he is pulling himself forwards and at the same time sliding into the tree. So the only solution is just keep on winching your nose away up the hill and then you can get your car past it and then back down the other side.
Okay, I'm heading in. I'm going to try and keep my front left wheel on the grass to give it more grip.
My plan is to try and keep at least 2 wheels on the grass. I've got diff locks on and I'm hoping to be able to at least maintain some sort of traction. But it's just far too slippery.
No. Just making my situation worse.
Okay, one last attempt. No luck. Well, the only thing left now is to get my car into a better position so that we can winch. So I need to get the nose of my car closer to that fallen tree.
What's that tree behind you, that big tree? Now we're winching.
Yeah, I think I need the winch.
So now that I've positioned myself correctly, he's going to back up and winch me up and across the slope of the hill. You can see just how slippery this mud is. As he's winching me up, I keep on sliding back down towards the tree. So the only solution is to turn my wheels into the direction of travel, and as he's pulling me up, I'm sliding across the hill. The plan is to get me far enough across so that I can reverse down the hill between those two trees.
Yeah, stop there.
Well, this just goes to show that you never know what's around the next corner in the Vic High Country. There have been so many obstacles today, and a little bit of rain creates even more obstacles, so it's well worth it to be prepared. Make sure you have a winch, make sure you have max tracks, if possible travel with another vehicle, because it is far, far safer to do so. So that was hopefully the last obstacle for the day. It is now a short drive to the next campsite, which is Tom Grogan. The rain has stopped, the sun has come out, it's just before sunset, so I will hopefully get to the campground before sunset, and that will be the end to an extremely long day. Well, here we are at the turnoff. Just off to the right is the final campground on this track, which is Tom Grogan. Beyond that is the Murray River and the state of New South Wales. It's been a very long day. I was meant to do this in 4 days, but because of all the rain, because of all the mud and the flooded campsites, I ended up doing it in 1 day.
Well, I made it to Tom Grogan after all.
And despite what the old man said this morning, that I will never make it, here I am at Tom Grogan, and it is an absolutely beautiful place.
Well, good morning everyone. We're camped at Tom Grogan Campground and the rain has stopped. It's a beautiful day. In front of me, on the other side of this river, is the state of New South Wales. I'm standing in Victoria and my challenge is to get across to the other side. This is the Murray River. It's separating me from home. And you can see just how strong the current is. We've had a lot of rain in the past few days and all that water has to go somewhere. So there's a lot of water coming down here. Very, very strong current. There's no telling how deep it is, but it looks deep-ish. It looks like to be at least probably at least a metre deep, if not more. But the challenge is, how do I get across the other side? Now, driving through there is just foolish by myself. I'm not going to do it. The plan for today was going to be to do Mount Pinnabar. There's a track that goes around there and that's supposed to be absolutely spectacular. But the people that I'm camped with, they tell me that since it was difficult enough to do without the rain, but with the recent rains, it's just far too slippery to do solo. So I'm going to take that off the cards. I can't do that today, unfortunately. But the only way across, they tell me that there's a private property near here and the guy has a bridge. Now, there's a sign apparently on the gate which says private property, emergency use only. I'm kind of stuck. I can't go back. So this is an emergency, I suppose. Hopefully I can use his private property and get across on his bridge. So that's the plan for today. Okay, I am just leaving Tom Grogan campsite. And it is a really, really beautiful spot. Fantastic views of the mountains. Got the Murray River next to me. Had a lovely night last night. So the plan for today is hopefully I can use the bridge that's on this private property that's next to me and get across to New South Wales. I really have no other way of getting out of this place. I can't cross the river. I can't go back. I can't go up to Pinnabar. So the only option I have of exiting this place is to go across the private property. So hopefully I can get across there without any issues. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. The guys that were camping next to me were both really nice guys. They are both from Sydney and they try and get out here every summer to go exploring, which is fantastic because there are so many tracks to explore in the Vic High Country. You can't see them all in one go. I think if you come back every year for 10 years, you'll probably get a reasonable taste of what there is. But yeah, a lot of different tracks, a lot of great four-wheel driving, and I had a great time. I really enjoyed the trip. It's a pity that we had rain and a lot of the campsites and a lot of the tracks have been washed out, but it is what it is. I have no desire to go and camp in a soggy campsite and get washed out because that's just not fun. I've now dried out the awning and all my things are now dry and packed up. I'm washed and clean, so I don't particularly want to go get bogged again. Visitors, please respect farm biosecurity. Please phone or visit the office before entering, but there's no phone number there. Do not enter property without prior approval. Vehicles, people and equipment can carry weeds, seeds, pests and diseases. Emergency access through private property to river bridge. Conditions: Emergency access only permitted when river ford is impassable. That is what we have today. Vehicles must remain on formed road, respect private property and livestock, leave gates as you find them, please minimise speed, noise and dust. Awesome! This is my way across. This is my way across. Let me just take a photo of this for you. Oh, this is awesome. I am in luck. I can get across the bridge. I fit one of those conditions. The river ford is indeed impassable. So that constitutes as emergency access. So just making my way across the private property, which is Tom Grogan Station. It is a beautiful, beautiful farm. So I'm just making my way slowly across the property just to minimise dust, and once we're across the bridge we should be back on the sealed road, and I can then inflate the tyres and be on my way. So this has been a really interesting and memorable trip. I will definitely be back. I don't know if I want to do it again by myself. I would prefer to do it with other people. Even one in the car. It's just good to have backup. It's good to be able to share some equipment, for example a winch, and definitely I will get my winch fixed so that I can winch myself out if I need to, but this is not a place to come without a winch or without max tracks. But apart from that, it is a really, really beautiful part of the world, and I've loved every minute of it. Hello. Oh, I freaked the little baby cow out. It's driving slow. Is it just me, or do other people feel this as well? When you see a beautiful rolling green field surrounded by mountains, full of cows, content, munching away at the grass, what I end up thinking is, I wish I was a cow. They have a short but nice life, I think. Well, I've made my way across Tom Grogan Station and found the private bridge, and here it is behind me. And that water, there's no way in the world that I would want to drive across. Look how fast that's running. So I think it would be extremely foolish, nearly suicide, to try and drive across this river further up where there's no bridge. So the only real option is to cross this private property, which is what I've done. I found the bridge, and this is my way back home. So at long last, I am in New South Wales. Well, this has been quite an adventure. Oh my god, there's a sealed road. Wow. I'm confused. What do I do? Oh, it's been so long since I've seen a sealed road. Let's put it back into high range. Actually, two-wheel drive. Yeah, two-wheel drive. Wow. I can't believe it. We're on a sealed road. This is, well, except for the short stint between Bright and Omeo, this is the first time I've driven on a sealed road in about 9 days. So I've just found a place to stop. I'm going to inflate the tyres back to road pressures because I think that's the end of all the dirt tracks. And it's on towards the snowy mountains from here.
So now that we've reached the end of the Vic High Country series, it's time to sum up my thoughts about the FJ and the modifications I've made to it. This car is so capable, it is an absolute weapon in the right hands. It just goes anywhere. I love it to bits. I can't say anything wrong about the old FJ. The only thing is it's a little bit short on space. But if you're clever about how you set up your vehicle, you can make very efficient use of all that space. I've got the rooftop tent, so I've got somewhere to stay. I've got the 270-degree awning. I've got induction cooking, lithium battery. I've got a shower on the side, toilet facilities. Basically, I've got everything that I would ever need, and I can hit the road, and I've got enough food and water to last me a week or two, and more than 1,000 kilometers of range. So it is a great touring vehicle for one person, or maybe even two people. It is a perfect touring vehicle. Absolutely love it. And as you've seen with those four-wheel drive tracks, it just does everything with ease. It does everything that the Land Cruiser 200s do, or the 79s, or the Patrols. In the right hands, with a bit of knowledge, you can go anywhere in one of these. It is a super, super capable vehicle, and I absolutely love it. And I'm looking forward to a lot more adventures with the old FJ. And speaking of more adventures, this is the end of this particular adventure. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every person that views my videos, because this is basically a labour of love, and I love making these videos. I love filming these trips, and I love reading your comments. So please, if you like these videos, leave a comment. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified of new videos, and I shall see you on the next video. So until then, take care guys, cheerio.